Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so Lil Loaded, man. Man, it's just going to be one of them years, huh? Now, Lil Loaded was arrested in Dallas, Texas, man. And he's currently in jail on murder charges. Now, this is crazy, man. Because dude was just bubbling, man. He just started popping. His music started really reaching. He was starting to chart. He was getting a lot of good looks out here, man. He had some collaborations. But, man, things seem to go all downhill. Now, before we get into all the specifics, man, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And, man, let's get it. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, man, Lil Loaded is a rapper from Dallas, Texas. And he got popping for a song called Glock Baby. And, man, if you look at the video for Glock Baby, there's a lot of stuff in that video that's a little, troubling, man. I mean, it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. The song goes hard, but man, there's so many guns, so much craziness as far as, gang affiliation and stuff in the video. And you're like, man, this is crazy. But it caught on. Everybody was messing with Glock Baby. I mean, so much so that it even started to chart. He was on like the Uprising Stars chart. And he's had a pretty good year in hip hop so far. So it is a surprise to all that dude just caught a murder charge, man. Real talk. Now, according to the sources that we have so far, which is his arrest record on the Dallas County official site, it basically shows this, man. It shows his mugshot, and then it shows his real name, which is Deshaun Robertson, his race and whatnot, date of birth. He's only 20 years old, which is crazy. And, he just turned 20 years old not too long ago, back in August. And dude, man, was booked in just yesterday evening. So around 6 o'clock in the evening. So while everybody else was watching Monday Night Football or whatever they watch, man, dude was going to jail. Now, this is crazy, man. So let me continue. Now, it looks like the charge is the only charge of murder. And, man, they got his warrant number sitting here. And then they go down, and if you look, he didn't have any bond. So I guess they're not giving him any bond on the murder charge or whatnot. And that's crazy, man. It's a sad situation. Now, this is as of, early this morning. But who knows? The news on that might change, and he might get a bond. I'm not sure if he saw the judge or even had a bond hearing or not yet. But it's looking pretty bad for Lil Loaded, man. This is a crazy situation. And the wild part about it is, a lot of the imagery that he uses in most of his videos, man, involves guns, man. Lil Loaded always got guns around him. All the pictures of guns, everything. Even like the single for Glock Baby, he had it's called Glock Baby, so maybe it's only right that he had a gun. But a lot of the imagery, man, that he had was guns. If you go through his Instagram page, you'll see nothing but weapons, weapons, weapons. It seemed like he was just putting it out there that he was with the weapons and whatnot, which isn't a bad thing, man. There's a lot of gun enthusiasts in this country, man. And that's a good thing. That's good on you. They have even magazines dedicated to gun enthusiasts. That's a right of yours. But when you're 20 years old and you're a burgeoning rap star, it would seem like, man, that would be the furthest thing from your mind, man. You would want to get away from all that. But it's crazy because we don't know the whole story yet behind the murder. Like, who exactly was murdered and what was the situation to where he had to turn himself in. Because, Dallas is a relatively safe city. But Fort Worth area and some other areas out there, man, they get murders constantly, man. It's a lot of stuff going on as far as streets. And, man, you never know what could have been going on. But there's been a string of shootings in Dallas over the last 2 weeks that have been very high profile. And they've been looking for suspects. So there's a couple of news articles out there. Man, let me go ahead and post this one example. Now, let me say this disclaimer. I'm not saying Lil Loaded had anything to do with this murder at all or the murders that were committed at these 3 different locations. But he did turn himself in recently for a murder. And, man, maybe they might add up.
Are investigating at least 3 separate deadly shootings that left 5 people dead this weekend.
So, as you heard in that clip, there were 3 separate shootings that left 5 people dead this weekend in Dallas. Now, I'm not sure if Lil Loaded turned himself in because he actually turned himself in. So if he turned himself in, that tells me a couple things. That lets me know that, man, maybe he's not really guilty and he didn't want to go on the run or whatever. Or number two, he wanted to make sure that he got this under his belt so that way he can get his lawyer involved and make sure he gets bond. Because earlier I mentioned that Lil Loaded hadn't been set bond yet. But in Dallas right now, it seems like since COVID is going on, that even murder suspects have been given bond and been able to go home. So, man, it looks like on that end, it might end up positive for Lil Loaded. But this is a crazy situation because based on that report, man, Dallas last weekend was going crazy, man. So it was a lot of shootings, a lot of things going down in the streets, and it seemed like Lil Loaded got himself in a situation that he's trying to handle. Now, I do have to give him credit for turning himself in and saying, forget it, man. Let me go ahead and face this instead of going on the run and all that mess, trying to do the race. But, man, this isn't a good look for his rap career. Or maybe it is, man. We'll see. We'll see. Depending on the specifics of the case, because right now, we don't know anything. Most of the major news outlets, they haven't reported on this yet because it happened just last night. But once they start to get a whiff of what's going on and that he's a famous rap star, you're going to start seeing reports pop up here and there and everywhere. But right now, all we know is the fact that he's turned himself in. And turning yourself in this situation is probably the best idea, man. I mean, it's not going to be hard to find you. And why go on the run and all that high profile chase and stuff like that, man? It looks cool on the movies and it sounds real fun when people put it in their records that they doing the race or they were on the run. But when you got a murder charge hanging over your head, man, it ain't that fun. I guarantee it, man. Now, I'm not talking from personal experience because I am not in the streets like that. I don't do all that. But I'm just talking from a lived life, seen it done a million times before, and know the consequences of all that. Now, Lil Loaded, man, hopefully he gets bond, can come back out and continue making music. But he's had a lot of high-profile features lately. Like he had Block Baby remix with NLE Chopper. And then he just had a joint that he dropped with YG. So, I mean, for a 20-year-old, it looked like his rap career was definitely going in the right direction. It just seems like a lot of rappers, man, they keep to the streets too tight, man. They way too tight into the streets, and it leads to a lot of situations that they could have avoided if they just kept their circle a little tighter and spaced themselves away from the streets just a little bit more. Lil Loaded definitely has talent. And he's got the ear of a lot of kids in the streets, man. People are feeling him. They're feeling his music. And they probably are just waiting for that one big project where he'll really blow up. Now, this could derail all this. This could be that one thing that stops everything. And Lil Loaded could be one of those stories that we talk about back in the day. Well, hey, remember that dude who blew it all? And this is a lesson to be learned from that, man. Because cats really got to start thinking about setting up their team and setting up how they move in the streets based on how they want their outcome in the rap game. Now, that sounds a little bit preachy, but man, that's straight game. I'm trying to keep it funky with you. And this been your boy, Big Man. So do me a favor, man. If you like what I put down right here, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.